When it comes to buying the right products, there's a lot to look out for. That's why today, we've picked and reviewed the 5 best models for you. And we've ranked them by many different factors, such as price, quality, durability, performance, and more. You can see their prices and find out more information by using the links in the description down below. Let's not waste any more time and get started with the video. We are going to start this list with the best budget option that you can get your hands on.
At number 5, it's the Polk S15. Bookshelf speakers are a pretty interesting and useful addition when it comes to your entertainment room sound performance. Some of us don't want to invest in such devices, but there comes a time when it's necessary, and you can find some affordable options out there, such as the Polk S15. This comes from the company's really rich bookshelf speaker lineup, and it presents great performance, looks, durability and soundscape for the low price. So let's take a quick look at it. The Polk S15 has a pretty simple yet attractive design, made with non-resonant Medite MDF cabinets, which is pretty good overall for the price at producing good sound and durability. While it's not as rich and beautiful as real wood, it does a good job, and at this price you really can't expect that. It features extra bracing and minimum thick baffles. I prefer the glossy charcoal grey one the most, since it's very classy overall. On the back of the cabinets you'll spot 2 gold-plated binding posts, which unfortunately don't allow by wiring. But even with that, it's a well-pitched crossover with the right amount of balance. Each of the speakers measures about 10.25 by 8.4 by 7.5 inches in total, with a rounded edges and a magnetic grille on the front, which you can choose to leave on or off. The performance and sound: the Polk S15 features a 5.25-inch woofer and 1-inch large Terraline tweeters in each speaker. The woofers, like traditional Polk speakers, feature the dynamic balance technology that's designed in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University to eliminate unwanted vibrations. The frequency response range spans from 50 to 40,000 Hz, which doesn't quite get to the sub-bass range, but it is quite excellent. Balanced and pleasing, the Polk S15 won't leave you disappointed, especially when you consider that it's a super cheap and affordable pair of bookshelf speakers that'll last a lifetime.
Next up, we have a model which gives you the best value for your money.
Number 4, KEF Q150B. Like I said, a great pair of bookshelf speakers can change your whole sound experience, and if you want to always get the most of your hard-earned money, I recommend the KEF Q150B. This bookshelf speaker set will offer you super rich and warm mids, smooth and clear highs, bass response for ages, deep and wide soundstage, and a beautiful design in its cabinets that'll impress even the most nitpicky users. Let's find out more about it. The first impression I got from the KEF Q150Bs was that of a premium product, which you don't expect to see in the mid-range price. The packaging itself was amazing, first of all, very well protected and with great attention to detail. Each of the speakers was pretty light at £12 each, but they feel extremely sturdy with some notable build quality. Each of them measures about 12 inches tall and 11 inches deep, which is pretty good, and a bit slimmer than most bookshelf speakers. The boxy shape is complemented with a unique Q array that is pretty aesthetically pleasing, adding a contemporary twist to the whole design. On the top you'll see the rubbery KEF logo that sits proudly on it. On these speakers you'll spot the 5.25-inch drivers and a 1-inch tweeter that's standard for the whole Q series. The unique Q array is the main selling point of this piece, since it's made to properly portray a 3-dimensional soundstage and perfectly timed frequencies. On the back of the cabs you'll spot the bass port and easy spin gold binding posts. There's also a grille covering for the front, and it's detachable. The impedance rating of the KEF Q150B is at 80 ohms and the sensitivity is at 86 decibels, coupled with a frequency response range that spans from 51 to 28,000 Hz. These are passive speakers, mind you, so you'll need some kind of amplifier or receiver to use these speakers. The sound quality is amazing in this one, especially when it comes to the deep and punchy low end, which is pretty pleasing. The clarity of the mids and highs was also flawless, with the highs having some extra twang to them, making the whole thing lively. The detail is its strongest point, and for the price, you won't find a better pair.
If you're looking for a mid-range model, then this next pick is a great option.
Number 3. Edifier R1700 BT. On the lower end of the mid-range price spectrum, you'll find some interesting bookshelf speakers, one of the most notable being the Edifier Are51M BT. These pairs of speakers for their super low price address some pretty impressive features like the Bluetooth 4.0 connectivity, a super impressive mid-range, warm soundscape with tons of smoothness all over it, and an attractive design that doesn't look like your traditional models out there. Worth considering. The Edifier Are51M BT might have a bit strange and different design compared to most bookshelf speakers out there, however I'm particularly fond of it. It doesn't come in different finishes, but the walnut, vinyl and black construction of it looks quite impressive. Some interesting tricks are going on as well though, such as the 10-degree upward angle that makes everything much more exciting. Also, I found it directs the sound directly to the listener, of course depending on the placement. On the side of the cabinet you'll spot a small cutaway section that has control dials for treble, bass and volume. The build quality is super solid with the Edifier Are51M BT, especially for the price they come at. In addition to that, like most speakers out there, it has a detachable grille that's pretty good and depends on your preference for how you'll use it. These speakers also have a small remote control in the package, which is pretty flimsy. Then again, you do have Bluetooth connectivity for wireless streaming. In addition to Bluetooth, you have a pair of RCA analog inputs on the back, and there are some cables in the package to help you out from the get-go. These are active speakers, meaning that you won't need an amp to get them going, and of course most audiophiles won't consider them as worthy models. However, the Edifier Are51M BT made a statement with its warm and super clear tonal range with plenty of balance in it. It had some playfulness going on with it, and the 0.75-inch silk dome tweeter in combination with the 4-inch driver delivers a pleasant performance.
Before we talk about the best model overall, let's look at the runner-up for this list.
Number 2. Klipsch R51M. The runner-up bookshelf speaker on this list comes from Klipsch, and if one thing is sure with the brand, it's their attention to detail and quality, and the R51M is that and so much more. These speakers provide a warm and super dynamic sound with a wide range of features, such as the deep and expansive bass, wide soundstage and nice imaging that'll impress every one of you. The design of the Klipsch R51M is pretty much classic Klipsch, with the horn tweeters and copper-finished woofers. Then again, it's pretty aesthetically pleasing like that. There's the magnetic cloth grille on the front part if you don't like putting the tweeters and woofers on display. You should know that the sound of the speaker isn't affected by it at all. It's an active speaker that, like many more out there, has the right side working as the master and the other as the slave speaker. You can connect those quite simply with the speaker wire. This also tells you that the controls of the unit are packed on the right speaker behind it to be correct. In the connectivity department, the Klipsch R51M offers a lot, including a USB port. That's great for connecting the speakers with your PC, as it supports all formats up to 24-bit 96 kHz. There's also the optical 3.5mm aux phono input and a sub out if you wish to expand the system. In the package of the Klipsch R51M, you'll spot a nice remote control as well that works very well. The main selling point of the Klipsch R51M is its amazing sound performance and quality, which is rather rich and dynamic before anything else. It's a bit sweetened though, leaning a bit on the warmer sounds, which is great for pop, rock, blues and other genres of a similar nature. The bass was good enough even without the help of a subwoofer, thanks to the dynamic bass EQ feature that doesn't sacrifice any quality. I would keep this feature on as it makes the whole experience much richer and powerful. The soundstage was wide as well, and these work especially well as TV speakers.
This next option is one of the best sounding models out there.
At number 1, it's the KEF Q350. On top of the list we have the best bookshelf speaker in the market, the KEF Q350. These speakers are absolutely essential if you're looking for the best sound performance in a bookshelf speaker. It has an amazing level of clarity, superb rhythm, balanced performance and a super wide soundscape. Absolute king when it comes to sound. The KEF Q350 has pretty much the same design as the KEF Q150B that we talked about earlier, which is very refined and streamlined. However, this one is a bit larger than the former, measuring about 14.25 by 8.26 by 12.04 inches in total. It also weighs a solid 16.6 pounds. Like the former, it comes in 3 finishes that include black, white and walnut. The difference is all in the size and power, as they're essentially the same speaker. The KEF Q350 comes with a 6.5-inch enhanced UniQ driver array, which is a bit more upgraded here, as the driver dampens the tweeter loading tube to eliminate any unwanted noise from the back of the dome. It very lightly touches upon the high frequencies and improves them a lot. Also, the driver now sits right in the centre of the cabinet to deliver uniformity, both in terms of design and tonal clarity. The redesign in terms of sound performance is also apparent here, with plenty of attention to detail making the whole thing more pleasing. I was particularly impressed with the timing of the speakers, which was spot on. They provide a balanced and neutral sound without sounding clinical and boring. But there are some slight touches and twists on it to make it an excellent option for listening to music, watching movies, playing games and much more. Wonderful throughout all the frequency range, and every genre I tested it with sounded wonderful. The best there is, the KEF-Q350 takes the cake. Buying guide. Firstly, purpose. The biggest factor that will determine whichever bookshelf speaker set you need to buy is the purpose you're buying them for. You can install them for different rooms or needs. If you're an avid movie watcher, you won't get the same speaker as an audiophile who wants accuracy and frequency neutrality. Then again, you might buy speakers for your gaming sessions, or just need something versatile to boost the sound of your TV. These are all factors you should consider before buying a bookshelf speaker, as not all of the speakers out there are created the same. Secondly, design and size. The design and size of your bookshelf speakers are very important, especially if you're considering buying them for your living room. This is because they'll be extremely visible, and you don't want to buy a pair that's not aesthetically pleasing or that doesn't fit in with the design of the rest of your room. For that reason, look at the place and choose a pair that fits straight in there and won't be an eyesore. Without forgetting, check the size and weight and how you can accommodate them. And thirdly, specs. There are millions of specs when it comes to sound devices, some more important than others. However, as a first, check if your speaker is an active or a passive one, since this will tell you whether or not you'll need an amplifier or receiver to just use them. After that, check out the frequency response range. A safe range is 80 to 20,000 Hz. Everything better than this is always welcome though. Impedance and sensitivity are also important specs, and you should be careful about all of them before pulling the trigger on a pair of speakers. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you found it helpful, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this in the future. If you have any questions related to these products, you can leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.